Okay, so we're back, and we managed to get our little rest. And we've got two acolytes on our side and a captive. The two on our side kind of disclose what they know about some of the rest of this place. It's not a lot of extra info, as they weren't allowed to go into some of the more secure places. And when people come, they had to stay bowed in reverence. So I don't really have a lot of details of some of the comings and goings, but we got a little bit, some helpful stuff. Maybe some helpful stuff.
Actually, I'm curious, what can they tell us about this other guy who's just tied up right now? Do they think that he would sincerely switch sides?
Um, I don't know that they can answer that any better than anybody could. They didn't think that they would switch sides.
That's
So,
fair.
but enough is enough. If you can kill one of the wizards turned emperor, then you might actually be more dangerous than what comes.
After our short rest and I've attuned to uh, the rod of alertness, I'm going to go over to the tied up one.
Okay.
I guess I would invite the other two acolytes over as well. Did we get names for them or not yet?
No, we didn't. And I can look at a list and come up with some.
Jack and Diane.
Little ditty.
Two Asmodeus cultists living in the Heartland.
They're doing the best that they can.
See, collectively, we could be a great bard.
Yeah, possible. Document.
And they're both human?
Yes, they're both. Darren is the one that you convinced first. The one that you enraptured, so to speak.
Okay. I'm just gonna like sit in front of this guy that's tied up and just when Bijou drops her spell, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna sit there looking at him and studying him for a bit. See if I can see if he gets a bit uncomfortable or see if I can tell what he's thinking. I'm gonna try and use that insight thing again.
Okay, so we're gonna drop the spell, and then we're gonna and then
Drop the mic.
I'm gonna draw my sword out.
like it's hot, okay, and then we're gonna try to talk to him, gather some insight.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna work. But that's the contested versus his deception charisma.
You see through gritted teeth, some bit of struggle. You say you're for the light?
We are.
And how are you any different than them?
For one, we give second chances. We don't corrupt what is good. And we offer you your freedom.
What about the one you chased down and killed? What about his second chance?
He was offered one, and he chose death.
How do you know he chose death? What if he was just fleeing for freedom?
Freedom only comes when you oppose evil.
Just like freedom only comes when he returns.
He will bring death and destruction to all of the land. That is not freedom.
I've only seen you occupy a very small amount of land, and I think you've brought quite a bit of death and destruction in that time.
So you choose to side with the demons.
Let's just say I'm not convinced by your altruism. Your evidence of it seems hypocritical and contrary. You killed a captor. But that captor was also a leader. One who is important in the things I believe in. So how does that make you any different?
If you have chosen the side of evil, if these are the things you believe in, then it will not appear any different to your eyes.
I'm gonna just do my detect good and evil. Is this guy evil?
You would think that that would be a glowing yes, but when you cast your spell, you're getting a lot. You're not getting a strong sense of either or. Just as good people must do bad things, so is my reasoning for doing this.
He says that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this isn't about us, what we've done, who we are. This is about you. How do you walk out of this place? Do you leave with Darren and Parth? Do you even know their names before?
This is gonna shake his head.
You can walk with them. But we won't leave an obstacle. We won't leave a thorn in our sides that are going to get us killed. So you choose where you go.
If I stay and die, or if I go and die, I'm dead either way. What choice do I have? What choice have you given me? You got any idea the things that are going on?
feel we're going to be neck deep in what's going on.
We fight to protect life. We fight to protect the places where we live and the freedom of the people in it.
You
What
worry
these
about
people-
the devastations of these petty people and their supposed powers. Look what happened to this place 1,000 years ago. There was life here. Was it evil that destroyed it? You work for the light, but the light burns.
It is evil that has taken it over.
Step aside for Luma.
What do you know of what happened 1,000 years ago?
My lord contested. And then the hate came and burned it all away. That light, that good. How could they justify so much devastation as good? Now that power has risen to new levels. What will you think he will do when he deems you unworthy? Do you think he killed only those that were bad? Or were there innocents as well? Is that good?
Good includes maintaining balance. It includes protecting life and not creating some horrific sham of a semblance of it in these ghouls, these bone creatures, these corruptions. This is not what is good.
I don't disagree. I don't think it's good either.
Then what do you choose?
It's the only power that can fight him. So I side with the only thing that can fight him. I've seen no side of light that can fight the light.
I'm gonna do my whispery thingamajigger to the acolyte.
See him kind of turn around. And then just a moment before recognition kind of settles as to where that came from. You proffer the light, and yet say you will confront him? Confront it? Even if that were possible. What power do you have? Do you have power that matches that of these wizards that fight against him? Sure, you, as a group, maybe you killed the Emperor. There's a lot more power out there than the Emperor. And at least they are trying.
I'll whisper to him again. I don't know if I should be saying this or if I should just be typing to you.
I mean, it makes sense if you're literally only sending it to him, then...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting to say anything more until I'm sure Luma has stopped saying whatever he's got to say to him.
So you're using them just like I was using these leaders. Sure, I played the whipped boy, but I knew what the plan was. Didn't matter what they did, as long as the goal was met in the end. The purpose is true. Sure, lead them on. Let them think you're for the light. Any fool knows there's only one power higher than his. Do you think he cares? Do you think he has balance to bring? That's his job. That's what he does. And he's the one who put him there. How would he ever favor with your plea?
See, now how do I not know that Bob just sent you a knock-knock joke?
Is he just kind of looking past him at Lumo, like with an eyebrow raised, like what's going on?
You would make demands from one more powerful than the hate. You're a bigger fool than even they think you are.
I stole my sword, by the way, because I don't feel like I'm going to be the one using it.
He kind of turns back and forth. You all see me as the evil cultist, bringing forth evils for devastation. Your mind is made up about me, and that's fine. But you walk the razor's edge. Your fight for the light, your so-called good, it's blinded you to what you must do. You're no better than I am, just a different kind of bad. I choose death.
Bum, bum, bum.
I spare a glance at Lumo to see if he wants to do it. I slit the acolyte's throat with my dagger.
Do it in gruesome ways. Just stab him in the heart. Damn.
He just falls over dead. That being his last words.
That's done. What about that rod, Izzy? Think we can find that key?
I think I know how it works. I can try. I'll wipe my dagger off and put it away, and then hold out the rod and try to cast detect magic.
Okay. A blazing new experience kind of emanates throughout your perceptions as
Use this magic device.
As you activate the rod, and its arcane energy swarms into you. Bright lights and colors burst into your vision. It's staggering at first. As you take a look around, you can see many instances of magic amongst your friends that are now glowing and radiating with various colors and auras.
I'm just staring at them like...
Ooh, shiny.
It's pretty intense at first, as having just the minor torchlight, and now it's like several suns illuminating all at once from various directions. It's a little overwhelming for just a moment till you can kind of catch your bearing, and as you know, just like going from a dark place into bright light, you have to squint and kind of bid for just a little bit, but then your eyes adjust and your normal senses kind of return. You kind of start to scan around you in general, other than the magical auras emanating from your friends in the direct vicinity. You notice no other sources of magic.
If it was a magical key, I don't think it was here. Or I don't think it is here. This is weird, and I walk up to whoever's close, like Bijou, I guess, and like start poking at the aura around her.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's just this color, like... What is that? Magic is weird. Okay, where should we... Should we check the other crevice? Like, if the mist monster was hiding in there, maybe?
I think he said the mist monster was behind the closed doors. Right.
He said he didn't know where it was. But we were theorizing that a mist monster could hide in there where it's difficult to get to.
We can check it out.
Mm-hmm. Didn't one of us seen like eyes looking in their door, right? That was narrated.
Yeah, so like he narrated it more as it being amorphous in, you know, like the blob that can take shape kind of thing. And then like parts of it would be peeking under doors and you'd just see poop like two eyes and then it'd slip out, or and these are all like peripheral glances and things. He never actually saw it, so to speak, you know, like to get a look at it in a descriptive way. Is more like, what is that, you know, and it's like, and it's not there, and everyone thought he was crazy, but he saw it so often in various ways that he was very well convinced that it was a real thing and not just his imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I think our new friends here should find somewhere safe, maybe near the entrance. I don't know that anybody will come by, but
how do you all ever leave this place? Can you navigate the desert?
even if we had the supplies to do so, no.
You can hang out near the entrance if you want, and on our way out, we can take you somewhere safe. Possibly, we can teleport out of here if we found what we're looking for.
They just kind of nod, like they'll try to cower somewhere safe. At the very least, they might be able to deceive, get back in the ranks, so to speak, if someone actually did find them. They'd just say that they were hiding from you instead of the other way around.
That should work.
If they do get found.
Give them another a thing or two of rations, and if they have like their own water containers, I'll fill them up for them.
Before I head out, I'll just touch Darren on the arm and say I won't leave without you. And then I'm gonna head down the hall.
What's this that just popped up? Water room?
Water room.
Yeah, I don't know what that's not supposed to be.
I mean, if you want to give us some scrolls.
That's not supposed to be visible. I don't know how that happened.
That's closed.
Hey, Steen.
Yes.
Do you still have that grease scroll?
Yes.
Is that like could we cast that and then like could I smear that on my armor to go through the skinny little tunnel a little easier?
I could cast it on you.
Would that work, or is that just gonna like can we cast it like on the ground and then just smear it on?
I mean, you could lube up before
Yeah.
going in. I don't know if that's gonna be the thing that helps you as you on squeezing through. I mean, you'll have to scrape a little bit as you kind of go through, but that may also make it harder to grab on. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's an idea.
What was it like a climb or something?
Not so much a climb. No. More of just the handhold, like to pull, like as you're scraping, like to actually pull yourself, kind of through. Like if you were caught on rock, or like being able to grab and actually kind of pull your way sideways, more than up or down. Is what I mean.
You know, I could cast invisibility on me or Lumos. We will fit better.
I'm just worried if you can't come back.
Well, you can tie a rope around my waist. It'll still be invisible, and
Do you have to be able to see us to send messages?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we would probably. Izzy's got the rod, so. But
Okay.
I don't know.
I can cast invisibility on her then to help her not be seen.
All right. The other thing I could do is tie my rope to my belt and leave the end out in the main passage with you guys. If I need help, I can give a tug on the rope.
The only danger with that is if we twist you while you're in there, you're not coming out.
If we what?
If you tug on something in a hole, you have a chance to make it wider than it was meant to be, and therefore it'll get stuck. Because you'd be rotating the horizontal object.
I don't mean by way of pulling me out. It'll be a tight squeeze for sure, but I think I can squeeze through there. I just mean more in the case of if I need help, then I don't need to say so verbally. I can just pull on the rope, like a certain signal on the rope, and then you'll know if I need help.
You can try.
Okay, so I'll do that. I'll make my way over to the little tunnel. Tie my rope onto my belt, and I'll hand the other end to. I'll hand it to Lumo.
I'm going to. My visibility is limited. I only have a couple torches, so they don't last very long.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so. I'll have the rod out in one hand. The other hand is just empty.
Okay, I touch her and turn her invisible.
I'll start trying to squeeze my way through the tunnel. Think thin.
Alright, so I think I need an athletics and an acrobatics.
I cast guidance before she leaves.
Okay.
+4.
Okay. So yeah, you can manipulate the acrobatics is about manipulating your body in a way to kind of fit in some of the grooves of the tight squeeze around. The athletics is actually the physical ability to pull yourself sideways, because even with getting your body in the right position, it actually takes still quite a bit as you are. It is across your back and across your front at the same time, squeezing you a little as you are trying to move sideways through the little tunnel.
I'm going to hand the rope to Steve.
Okay. I'm currently looking down the hallway to the north.
I'll take that watch.
It's only a 50-foot rope, so you have to stand kind of near the opening.
Just move there.
You start to make your way forward a little bit as you're squeezing in. You can see that there is a bend in the rock. And from your, from the immediate vantage point, you can see that it kind of starts to turn a little bit, about a 45-degree angle. As you continue to make your way through the little squeeze hole, it starts to open up a little into the next. As you go further and further, you can start to hear a little bit of whistling of the of that air rattling through. And I'll let you move yourself now. So you, as you move into this, you're still technically kind of squeezing a little in the next tunnel, but it's not the absolutely can't fit kind of thing that it was before.
Okay. It may not be the case now, but as soon as I'm able, I'm going to start trying to move more stealthily.
Okay. Yeah, just a little bit further, and then like probably another couple squares, and then roll stealth roll.
I'm also going to start following her.
Okay. Yeah, you can just by your small stature. It is still a tight squeeze for you, but not nearly the contortionist kind of effort required. So as you make it to here, you can kind of now see that around the edge there's this faint, soft glow, almost bioluminescent, down and around the bend that continues forward.
I can probably only get to about there before I run out of rope. So when I get here, I'm going to untie it from my belt.
Mm-hmm.
And flat up against the wall and just kind of keep going a little bit around until I can get a better view of what's in here.
Oops.
Lumo's god powers are manifesting as he teleports back into the main tunnel. So what is this? Am I seeing mushrooms here, or what am I looking at?
Did we lose Dread?
Oh, there we go.
No, he's
No
still
crash.
he's still moving.
Okay.
No, it's a dude's face. He's upside down. As green's his hair. He's a friendly, happy person.
So just as you kind of creep around, you can see this is like a bunch of there's like a just big pile of biomass of some sort. It's giving off faint glow. So there's maybe fungal, maybe plant-like of some sort in the cave, but giving off some kind of natural glow to it. And then behind, you can see these large purple stalk, like grayish purple stalks that are definitely some massive fungi of some sort. And then way off in the back, you get a little glint of a glimmer of lots of shinies.
Shiny.
And then there's also all the across this entire cavern. There's a bunch of. It's not like it seems natural, but a bunch of large, just holes that are. I mean, not large. They're about fist-size holes that go into the wall, but they're visible even at this range in many places all the way around. And then you can hear a little of the rustle and whistle of the wind and air coming from all those holes.
Okay. I presume I have noticed Lumo coming up behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna duck back a little bit and tell him what I saw there. And that I want to go check it out.
I'm going to agree. But I'm going to go back and get Bijou to come along with us.
Yeah, good call. So I'm gonna wait here while Lumo does that, and I'm gonna put my scarf up over my face, cause fungus. And I'm just gonna kind of keep looking at the area to keep an eye out for any movement or spores floating around, or any, like, look for a safe path through or around that glowy stuff.
Trad, question.
Mm-hmm.
How long would you say we've been in here?
Like in
In this
total?
cave?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you stayed overnight at the entrance. And then after that, I mean, it's probably only like an hour or two. Right? With the conversation stuff, probably 2 hours total. You've been in here since you got up and left from camp.
Okay.
Oh no, you rested, so make it 3 hours.
Okay.
I hear Lumos calling. I go in.
Okay, so I mean, there's not much of a path. It looks like the biomass extends to. I mean, there might be a small bit right on the edge, beside each wall on the way around, but for the most part, it seems to have spread or grown, encompassing the majority of the entryway here.
Okay.
Can I make a nature roll to see if I know what it is?
Mm-hmm. I mean, without some more like direct, intensive study, it would be something that, as far as getting any specifics of it, but it's definitely looks like a mixture of both. Some kind of vegetation and fungus together that have grown together in like some kind of symbiotic relationship, where they are giving off some small amounts of light. As far as what that, the individual properties of the plants or the fungus or whatever could be, it's not something that you recognize directly.
I'm going to start walking just around near the wall, around the very edge where it looks a little bit less dense, I guess, and just walk slowly and carefully, trying to disturb it as little as possible.
All right. Let's get an acrobatics as you try to avoid here. So as when you go through, at some points, you're like you feel like all the way up until you get right here, that you can avoid with ease. But when you make it to here, you really have to make a decision on if you're going. The floor is lava, like so, or you have no choice but to interact with it on a small scale. And so at least if following just kind of regular walking path, that is.
Yeah, it just looks like plants, right? So I think I'm just gonna continue again, just gently stepping through.
So as you kind of step through very gently, try not to disturb very much. But as you make your first footfall onto the actual vegetation itself, you get a like a rippling sensation from part of the mass in that area, as though it reacts.
I should have asked, was my detect magic picking up anything? I should have asked that first. Because that lasts for 10 minutes, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That shouldn't. Yeah, it should still be available at this point. Yeah. But
if
no.
it looks magic, I'm jumping over it. Okay.
No, it looks natural.
Okay, yeah.
at
Then
least
Do I
in that-
see it
in that room.
respond to her?
But yeah, you can see it start to respond, and just in that area, almost as though it's made up of a whole bunch of individual, things that are kind of growing off of one another, but somehow there's some mutual connection across the entirety of it, like the big grove of those aspen trees that are all individual trees, but they're all really connected together as one big tree. In that same kind of way. And so the area around it kind of reels back just a little bit, moving away from right where the area where you touched. And then as it lets out a plume of smoke, or of this green gaseous thing in your area. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw with advantage due to your scarf. As you step over the gaseous spores that come up, that it's expelled from it. You can definitely tell that it's kind of rank, and it's very choking, like as far as what little bit is still seeping through your mask. You're able to hold most of that back out, but it doesn't. It leaves a tingling sensation on your skin as you walk by. So it's like the actual aerosol aspect of it all has a choking component that it almost makes you gag. But the actual, as it settles on your skin, you feel like a tingling sensation, almost like your hand feels asleep or whatever, on just the areas where more than just a couple of little spots hit. If it where it lands in any significance, you get that same falling asleep feeling, numbing on that area of your skin.
When I see the poof of smoke, I definitely cover several layers over my nose. And I start talking to it, and I say, "Little plant, we're not here to hurt you. We just want to see what's over here." Of course, I don't speak plant, but
kind of instinctually, I hop over the rest of it to try and get somewhere that's not plant.
Yeah, after you've kind of taken that one step into it, leaping over the rest pretty easy along the wall there.
And these two, are they just like singular giant mushrooms? These two purple ones? I'm gonna give them a wide berth. But I'm gonna continue around the edge of the room.
Okay.
Still trying to be quiet, stepping gingerly, etc. When I go past these holes in the wall, can I tell anything about them?
While the cavern looks kind of natural, it looks like, at least, so the holes, they go in and then they go up and then kind of out of view really quickly. It looks like at least the main part right at the beginning is not natural. It looks like a very smooth bored, kind of drilled in some way hole for at least a handful of inches in, and then it looks natural after that.
And they're like fist size?
Yeah.
Can I see inside them at all? Or does it like curve up in a way?
Not very far. So they're not horizontal. They are somewhat at an upward angle going in, and then like only a few inches in, then they tend to go off in very sharp corners, directions up to the side or the like.
Okay. That's weird. I take a mental note of that, but don't know what they might be for, so I'm gonna just continue around the room. And I'm keeping a wary eye on these mushrooms.
Okay. Yep.
And when I get about there, I want to take a look around for any kind of trap triggers. This looks like somebody's hoarding shiny things here, so I want to see if they've protected it other than the natural, like, mushroom defenses, I guess.
Yeah, you're not getting any of that sense of search. Go ahead and roll an investigation and see what kind of your confidence level on that. I mean, you're kind of looking around.
Not great.
Not your the normal kind of traps that you might be used to or thinking of is you know, a lot more mechanical in nature, right? You know, pulleys and switches and needles and string and all of this.
Yeah.
Everything here is so natural. That it's just something out of your will. You really don't know what to look for in a natural trap of this sort.
Okay.
If one exists.
Okay, so I'm just gonna continue around and see what I can see at the pile of shiny things.
Okay. Yeah. So it looks to be mostly a pile of coins. But there's also, you know, other little baubles. Some of them look to be kind of just worthless baubles and the like. But it looks like anything that had any kind of reflective aspect to it seems to be here. Even like little bits of, like, there's a couple of pieces of like broken mirror, other, you know, other just little pieces like a spoon, you know, things like that that you can see piled up with all the coins all in this pile.
I look for one that looks expensive and very gingerly take it.
Okay, so you look for a shiny platinum piece. Okay, and you pick it up. So you reach down, you bend down to actually to pick up the platinum piece. I need you to roll a dexterity check.
Just straight dexterity?
Yeah, just a dexterity check. This is like a judge of reaction. As you grab onto a platinum piece, you can see a disturbance immediately happen kind of in the pile itself, and it looks like what are 3 or 4, and then all of a sudden a few more of the actual coins themselves near the platinum piece you go to grab kind of slightly change shape and move as they curl up almost like a hand trying to grasp around yours. But just like things are moving and you're already on edge because of the other thing, so do you try to grab the platinum piece and jump back, or do you jump back?
No, I just jump back.
You
My hand is worth more than a piece of platinum.
So yeah, so you as you know, so you were just going to reach it, like you were like just putting like your fingers right around the edge of it, as then the pile starts to move up and around your hand like super, like very quickly. You jump back, and then right where you see a hand kind of come up, like a hand shape of coin, as those coins begin to amorphously change shape up and around, and then it becomes an arm as it sticks up out of the pile of coins, and you see a big part of the actual pile start to pick up in response. I need everyone to roll initiative. You see that of a lot. So one thing to note is like of the amorphous blob kind of thing that's coming up. There are actual coins that are falling off of it as it is coming up. So this amorphous blob is literally Scrooge McDuckian inside of his little money pit.
Oh, actually, I have advantage on my initiative. I still
Because
have
you got the rod. You have the rod connected still. Yep.
Can I just roll another d20 and then if
Yep.
it's higher than 18?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I figured that was pretty good anyway, but
You know, a 27 initiative roll. You know, just pretty good.
You can add like 7 of Steen's rolls together and wouldn't get 27.
I'm tempted to try.
ugh.
Wow, that looks awesome. Sad I'm not in that room.
Okay, so I'm going to disengage,
Okay.
and then I'm going to book it, and all the while I'm like, pull the rope, pull the rope, pull the rope.
You untied the rope.
Yeah. Kind of went out of the range of the rope.
And
Yeah,
you
I
left
know,
it
that's-
somewhere back here.
I know, that's what I mean. I'm telling you guys to pull the rope because you're closer.
All right, when I see this thing come up, I drop invisibility on her. Because I want to be able to see her, make sure she's okay.
Okay.
I'm dashing, but I'm not quite far enough that I can jump over the plants. So I'm just full bore running, and then next turn I guess I'll jump. Is that
Yeah,
how that would work?
Yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I assumed it was my turn, but it's actually not on me.
But it didn't. There, it was your turn.
And as I'm going, I'm putting the rod away.
Okay. Okay.
I assume this thing matches the description that that Darren was giving us.
Yeah, this is pretty clearly what he was referring to. But like, I mean, you're still somewhat surprised of not only was it a change of shape, but it chameleoned in, as well.
Yeah, that was crazy. What is that?
Very pretty language, but I have no idea.
I take it no one speaks Infernal.
Nope.
Nope. It looks really cool, though. I'm sure my English teacher would not prefer me to write my English papers in Infernal.
Mm-hmm.
I've been studying, but I'm not there yet.
you can see as the amorphous blob becomes at least humanoid looking in torso, as it becomes upright, it's going to move its arms around, and then you see like little blobs of it kind of drip off and recollect in itself. And then it's going to expel some like green goo in like a spray out of its extended hand. That is after it starts off liquid, and then the further it goes, the more it becomes looking like a gas. That goo settles on the two giant mushroom spores, the giant mushroom stalks rather, and you see they quiver as they become sentient or gain some form of movement and awaken. Now here's something we've never really had to decide before. We've kind of split the party. So, do we fight? Or do we run?
I'm gonna use my ring of haste.
Gonna run a half mile in laps. Think about what he wants to do.
So yeah,
So yeah,
that's an action. And I'm gonna use my hasted action now to fling a light bulb.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gonna stay there.
Actually, I'm gonna use before I do that. I'm gonna do that and that.
You're gonna use your to take the dodge action. Use your key for the dodge action effectively. That's what patient defense is, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah.
You're done?
Yes.
So are we staying or are we leaving, guys? I'm like hopping on one foot on the other, just waiting for Lumo or Izzy to say.
Izzy is quite obviously booking it for the entrance, but if you look like you're hesitating, she's like, I'm not gonna go through until you do, because if I get stuck, you guys are stuck here on this side. You go first.
Oh, that raises a good question. How tall is this little tunnel?
Not very tall at all. Once you get into this area, it might go up to like 8 foot in the main open cavern area, but we're looking at, I was thinking like 5.5, 6 feet at the peaks, and then even those peaks are kind of pointed, so like you got to scrunch and squirm and fit.
Okay.
For anyone that's not small. That's
Okay. Can I ready a spell when she gets near me
Yeah.
to use? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm because Luma can fit through there fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ready Dimension Door. When she gets within 5 feet of me, I'm going to cast it and go east about 60 feet.
Okay. Yeah. Poof. All right. That's gonna be interesting.
So I'm gonna go ahead and check mark it, but that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So run to me, Izzy, and we'll get out of here. No problem. I'll take you with me.
I don't think you can take me with you,
Why?
because I'm bigger than you.
I can bring.
Doesn't
they
it
have
have
to
to
be
be
the
your
same
size or smaller?
Is it for Dimension Door? That's a
Oh,
good question.
maybe. Oh, it has to be of my size or smaller. You're not of my size.
You don't have the. Well, you don't have make bigger and small. You don't have the enlarge, reduce spell.
I thought someone made me a large reduce, or was that Steam that made me do that?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Well, Josh is here. We need his character to make a Dimension Door. It fit a lot of people.
And I can't do it anymore. Well, spell slots.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right, so I can't take her with me.
No. Yeah. So we might. Yeah. With that info, we might have to change the plan a tiny bit. Because she's technically medium and you're small.
You could take Luma with you if he was willing to go, but I don't know.
Stuff everybody in Lumo's bag and Lumo run through.
Maybe not.
That could work.
Good work. As long as you can hold your breath.
Well, I do have an oddly formed plan in case anyone needs to travel by my bag.
You always run out and grab the rest of us. Get in the bag!
All right, I'll cast Hypnotic Pattern instead, and then run away.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
But it'll have to be at a level 4. So how do I click on multiple things?
You can control and then click each of their icons, or you can do an area selection with the stuff at the top of the map. I think. Looks like we got 2 saves and 1 failure. So go ahead and hit the apply. It should do it automatically. The effect. Yeah. Incapacitated on.
Quagoth.
All right, is any of this like how far away can I run, Drad?
You got 25 feet, so.
Just make me run away. Is that an attack spell?
What do you mean attack spell?
Because when I use my Wand of the War Mage, I get +1. I don't know if that would have made a difference.
Oh, no, that's if it does an actual attack. Although you can use it through the hand cone. I believe it has a verbal component.
No, hypnotic pattern doesn't.
It doesn't?
No, it's semantic and material.
Oh, well, okay, so maybe not then. But no, only if it,
Okay, so it doesn't cause damage, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, so it's not even damage. It's if you have to make an attack roll. So if it says make a spell attack or something like that, that would be the Archmage. Let's see, what spells do you actually have that have an attack roll?
Thunderwave, maybe?
No, that's a save. Yeah, so basically a lot of them are, if they have a save, they don't have an attack. So it's usually one or the other.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think all of yours are save spells. I don't think you actually have an attack spell.
Do I sense something's going on?
Yeah, so when you can definitely start hearing them call out as, you know, they're like, are we running, are we staying? And then you see Bijou, yeah, you can probably see Bijou running back.
So they've all seen the spectral bear before. So I hope maybe I'll scream the bear is friendly. A spectral bear with fiery claws is sitting right there.
Awesome.
Guardian of faith.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If anything, 3 things. It can do 3 attacks. If the first 3 things that get near it, I'll have to do a dex save on it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I just kind of step back out of the way, so if anybody comes through, they can make it.
Icons always get messed up. Anyway, so these are a little bigger than.
I thought 10 got hit by the hypnotic pattern.
Wrong one. Whoop. It did. That is the one. I went back to back, so I just was going to grab one, but I grabbed the wrong one. So as this one approaches this biomass here in the middle, you can see that the biomass kind of moves fluidly with it as it tries to step in. It kind of moves around it as it's making its steps and strides through the mass. The mass itself moves in anticipation of some sort of where it is, just avoiding its spot. Till it stands in the middle, and then you can see its large legs, like that were, you know, it looked like one giant stalk that had kind of split, and then its legs had come in, and then as it gets to the middle, you can see part of its legs, not like exactly growing, but definitely moving, almost kind of like a growing looking action as it starts to connect inside of the biomass. Through like little stalks that are all coming out of the side of its legs as it's connecting, and then it shivers a whole bunch, and then as it does, a massive, very, very thick version of that spore mixed with gas kind of smoke fog just begins to fill the cavern. Lumo and Izzy, I need you to make Constitution saving throws based on volume, no longer with advantage. You both feel like overwhelmed by the sheer mass of this as it infiltrates in, it burns your eyes, it gets in your nose, you can't really breathe, as you try to suck in a little of just a little air. It kind of comes into your lungs, and you choke and kind of gag and cough, but then start feeling very numb. And that numbness, starts tingling on the skin, that then starts feeling in the muscles. And then, as you're still kind of in stride, running, and Lumo's waiting after just firing his bolt, in that defensive stance, you start to feel like you're losing control of your muscles, and a paralytic effect is taking over. You both have 1 round of paralysis. It does look though as though the luminescent biomass itself deflated and no longer glowing. But yeah, but there's that.
I am going to wait here for my friends to get out and ready an attack.
Start of this round, you hear a bunch of small scraping sounds, little chittering, maybe even skittering. Izzy, right near you, you hear some small creatures starting to traverse through the little holes in the walls. This guy is the one that's in cap.
I holler down the hall at them. They're dangerous plants. Don't come in.
It doesn't know. But so what it's going to do is, you can see again as it as it kind of formed, like, so after it had formed up and sprayed that goo on the last turn, it kind of blobs back into a little less easily identifiable form. But now it's going to again make its arms very focused and detailed to be arms again that kind of push forward. And from each of the hands that are sticking out forward, it's going to shoot a beam. I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw from each of you. Wait, sorry, that is actually incorrect. Undo that. It has both types, but that's for the follow-up. If so, it's actually has to make an attack roll with the ray first. Wait, what? Did it really roll 3 14s? 14 and then 14 and dropped 14? I guess so. Okay, so it rolled 3 14s. Hitting with the ray. Ray of Enfeeblement, which, for you guys actually isn't that big a deal. So at the end of each of your turns, that's when you make the Constitution saving throw to remove the effect. And so its effect is the target deals only half damage with weapon attacks that use strength. So it doesn't actually affect either one of you, but it doesn't know that.
No, he doesn't know that.
Actual effect to put on you. It doesn't matter, again, because it doesn't actually affect you. Okay, Car.
Just kind of ready in action. Sacred Flame, in case a bad guy comes out. There's a little something in Kragos. Or Kragan.
Mm-hmm. Alright, is it the Spore's effects on you? That paralytic effect stops you from being able to act this turn, but as it happened quickly, it also fades quickly at the end of your turn. Not more. Stop, no! Ah!
I mean, I was just full bore running, so I kind of imagine that as her legs give out from under her, she's just gonna face plant in the next square over. Kind of what I picture happening.
I think that probably makes a lot of sense because you were just you were running and getting ready for your leap, and you were just about to lift off.
Yeah. So I think that happens, and then I don't get to do anything for the rest of my turn, right?
Mm-hmm. This is the one that is not immune. You can see this spore creature, having expended the use of the biomass, is actually going to spend its turn like branching, like, so it has several branches of it that are interconnected with the mass through its legs, and you can see that it's actually going to start tending it in a way, almost like a gardener tending its crops. And you can start to see some of that bioluminescent glow start to return as it is effectively charging the biomass, spending its turn to try to charge the biomass. Same kind of deal for Lumo as with Izzy. The paralytic prevents you from doing anything this turn, but at the end of your turn, it goes away. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
All right, I turn around and see my friends are not behind me, and I panic and I turn back around.
You can see that Izzy looks like she's kind of stumbled and fallen, but also fallen in such a weird way that her muscles are like rigored in a weird, like still kind of like running pose as she's on the ground, like with one hand like still in the running man but horizontal.
So I panic and I'm like, what can hurt a plant? What can hurt a plant? And I stop and I start digging around in my bag and I pull out a flask of oil and my potion bottle and I dump out my potion of healing and put oil in it and make a Molotov cocktail to throw at the plant.
Oh, okay.
Light it on fire.
Makeshift Molotov cocktail, pouring out the potion of healing. Okay. Yeah, because the potion of healing will be right there, so we'll say bonus action to dump that, and then light it and toss it. Sure, that seems fine. And you're gonna toss it at
This big green or the spore, kind of centered on the spore, but I'm kind of far away. I don't know how far I can throw.
okay.
But basically, what's right in front of me.
Okay, so we have makeshift Molotov cocktail. Toss it in the middle. A roll and attack roll. Just say so, like something that you would do with a weapon. Like so.
I've got okay.
Okay, yeah, so it's not too crazy. Try to make it to the mushroom dude in the middle. Okay, so you can see that it lands kind of in here and splashes with a little bit of flare fire coming in around in this particular area, and where the bioluminescence, I mean, it wasn't bright like it, you know, to the brightness it was before. It was just barely starting to pulse and come back in little splotches. That entire area seems to be wiped out. The plants seem to be withering, and then what little bit of you know, spores and stuff that are there just kind of deflates out.
And after it, I yell, "I'm sorry, little plant." But I wait here for my friends. I don't turn around and go back.
Hey, why is Lumo on the tracker twice?
He's special, Lumo.
Stop that cheating. And Steen here at the end.
But the good old wait and see.
Okay, Izzy, you are now up. You're now.
I can stand up.
Yeah, you can now move.
Okay, I stand up.
Okay. So it'll take half so of your movement.
And kind of try and shake it off, and I kind of stumble to my feet, run the extra 15 feet, drawing out my dagger on the way. Something like that. And that's movement. I'm gonna chuck my dagger at the mushroom dude that just sprayed me with all that crap.
Okay, yeah.
And the second one.
And use your bonus action also? Okay.
Yeah. Cause I'm waiting for the two smaller ones to head back through the tunnel so that I don't plug it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm kind of like, get going.
Run! At this point, that skittering becomes quite prominent.
Oh, jeez.
As you see a bunch of tiny little spiders start crawling out of the little holes all around.
Bijou, you were right about the spiders.
Go down to the hole, they said.
Told you there'd be bugs in here.
You can see as the Spore Servant again spends time trying to charge up the mass, the area that's on fire here at the beginning. This entire area doesn't seem to regain any charge at all. And so even though he charges it up and then shimmies to expend, the gas that comes out, very thick fog comes out only to the left of that line. And so no one is currently affected by any fog.
See, he's probably like, "You guys want to hang out in a bit? I got Netflix. Where you guys going?"
Netflix and chill.
All right, Lumo. And what we'll probably do is get through this round, see what the order of the next round looks like, and then probably wind up calling it short after there, see if we can escape.
Bob can take that class again next semester. Come on. Just kidding, Bob.
Freaking Lumo's be able to take them all out by himself. Lumo's got this shit.
Yeah, I just same as before, really.
All right, I have the last flask that has my oil in it. It has 2 things of oil left in it. I tear another piece off of my clothes and put it in it and throw another Molotov cocktail. And I tell Izzy, I can get out of here. You just gotta get out. So I'm gonna throw it again.
You can't get out if I'm blocking the tunnel.
I can travel without a tunnel.
Right, okay.
Okay, and you were trying to toss this old up. You say old up rag kind of thing on fire?
No, the oil isn't in a flask, so it had 3 things of oil in it, so now it has 2 left in it, so I just put the rag in that flask. Now that has a little room for the cloth. So it has 2 oil things to
Okay.
make another Molotov cocktail.
With 2 uses of oil instead of 1.
There you go. Yep.
Okay. And we're gonna try to throw it towards the.
The spore again.
Okay. No. I rolled a 1 for you. That's not good. So the Molotov cocktail that you've made with the flask itself and the rag, you can catch the end, just the edge of it, the rag itself on fire, and you toss it. But the flask being a very solid container, when it lands, it just kind of lands. It doesn't break like a traditional Molotov. The power of the Molotov cocktail is the ability for it to break and scatter the actual flammable liquids across an area. It being condensed in a little thing, you can see a little bit of oil kind of stream out of the can, and a little bit of fire kind of pool in a little puddle. But the damage you are looking for seems insignificant compared to the pyre that had already kind of started on the last throw.
I step forward, make sure there's enough room for Izzy.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready to punch things. Oh, wow.
Whoops.
I somehow double skipped you because you went first. I'm confident that has never happened before.
Nope. It's
We're gonna die.
So yeah, I'm thinking of maybe a barbarian minotaur.
a Lumo just got made bigger, and now the hole's plugged. Crap. After effects are being made larger. That happens again.
All right, so
So
yeah, you're gonna continue your waiting for people to get out to maybe help them out the last few feet of the tunnel, kind of deal. As you see Lumo scrambling through the little squeeze section. Hello, Dean.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there ready to hit things.
Okay. All right, Izzy.
I guess I'm just double dashing up until Lumo's in the way.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then, so my question is, Bijou, are you dimension dooring out immediately, or now that there's a clear path, are you actually just following?
No, I dimension door. I'm afraid she'll get stuck or something. And I'm run slow.
Okay.
So I'm
Also-
gonna visualize this hallway and pop over there.
And
Yeah,
so
so
you've
just
got a
pick up the
little
end
bit
of
of
the rope.
movement left, and then I know Lumo's gonna make his way out. So just as a way to kind of say to end today's session, that I know Lumo's gonna get out, and you'll be right here when we pick up.
Okay.
We'll pick up with a. It does not appear, as y'all were running away, that they were giving any more chase beyond the guy going to the plants, to the plant matter.
I'm just squeezing out. I'm like, we found the Beast Monster.
You didn't find the key though, did you?
Oh, I didn't get much of a chance to look. There's a
Oh.
big pile of shiny stuff.
Danger, danger, danger!
Well,
No, no.
well, maybe we come back here.
I don't think we're going back
After
in there. We're just
Arrest and
not gonna have a key. Well, maybe the key's somewhere else.
It's a magic key. I think we need it, but I don't know. We
Yeah.
could check other places first.
I mean, I could always shrink either me or Car and send one of us in.
Wouldn't you have already had detect magic on though? Wouldn't you have just had to look?
If
Or
you
would
could
you
see
have had
Oh,
to
yeah,
focus?
Oh yeah. If it's like under stuff, I don't know. I couldn't still see it then, right? Or
I think you'd still sense it, but
I have to look. I'd have to look it up.
I
Mm-hmm.
I thought detect magic was a visual thing, and so if you couldn't see it or its auras, I don't know. Let me look real quick. We'll have an
Yeah.
idea.
I would have to look it up.
you can penetrate most barriers blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, 1 thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Oh, so if it was like a big pile of metal, I could only see like within 1 inch of the surface. If it's like under all of that stuff, then I wouldn't have been able to see it.
Oh, interesting. I didn't actually know it went through that, even through that far of wood and dirt, though. That's good. That's good to know for the future. That's actually super powerful. That's cool. So let's roll me an investigation, Izzy, and I'll roll a d100, and we'll see if how that all lines up, and that way you can see what all.
Not bad.
Yeah, with the more than 20. There was definitely, especially as it started to move and the pile started to shift, you could see a faint glow of magical aura coming from the pile of shiny objects.
Yeah, but is that just the ghoul?
The ghoul itself is not actually giving off a magical aura in that.
Oh, okay.
So even though it was created by magic, its form is now natural. Is a natural thing, even though that natural thing was created by magic.
Okay. So I guess if I'm given the chance, I would tell them that I did see something magical in the pile.
Yeah. That way we'll at least know that going forward.
Yeah, when I had Karth, as my first character, I always thought of detect magic as like big magical aura type things I was detecting. But if you keep that rod, like instead of and with Stein doing his investigation, looking for stuff, you could detect magic, and if there's magic items, within these parameters, you'll sense them.
Yeah, it's really nice. I didn't realize about the full extent of the visual penetration through things. I knew that if it was just covered with a blanket, it wouldn't get rid of its magical aura, because that would still emanate some amount of space around it. But I didn't know that it was as much as 3 feet of dirt or wood. That's pretty neat. So you could literally scope out someone's house on the outside. See, I mean, because
don't give Izzy no ideas.
She will take full advantage of that.
You're gonna pay off that garrison bill one way or the other. Tax collector has a whole different meaning now.
You won't even know it's gone.
All right. Well, good deal. That was excellent. So we had a much easier encounter today. It's a pretty cool roleplay with the acolytes. That was pretty fun. I like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed everything. I mean, it's not that I dislike, but if it's just like 5 hours of straight combat, it's very taxing, and I get to where it's harder for me to focus. But having some RP here and there, I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does get hard to do like 4 to 5 hours of straight tactics. That's a little
Well,
draining,
I
I
mean,
suppose. But
I mean-
fun, but draining.
we made that the situation it was, right? Like we could have just started murdering everything and then turned it into 5 hours of straight combat.
Yeah, I
But
didn't
you
know.
guys did a good job role playing that situation.
Yeah, I didn't know how we were going to proceed there. I mean, some of the expectation was to just go in and be like, "Oh, they're cultists," and just like literally an AOE nuke would kill them all, and then you would just be like, "Oh, and here's this thing." Like I thought, that was one expectation. Also, depending on how long you waited, if y'all actually waited and listened and hear what's going on, you might kind of draw, that they're not. I figured that Izzy might draw the slave comparison as well, and so it could go a completely different. It could have gone a completely different direction. As even though they were acolytes, they were, worshiping an evil god, working towards bringing evil god forward. There's still, there was still that chance that, something was going on there. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, that was kind of how I figured she would play it. Was as soon as you said that it looked like they were under duress, that it may be the case that they were there against their will, and if they wanted out, if they wanted freedom, she would give that to them. But if they were there willingly because they want to follow a demon god, that she's not going to stand for that either.
Kara's got to have a talk with Lumo. Jesus, Lumo's the one they're looking for. It's my bets.
That's their problem.
Well, it will be.
It's gonna be their problem.
And like, if they're unlucky, they might just find them.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up at one point, but we had other things going on.
Yeah, and that last one, I was not sure what we were going to do with the last one, if we were actually going to kill him or
I'm pretty sure he was going to die.
I did not want him to.
Yeah, because I figured Lumos.
I didn't. I knew. I didn't know all the things Lumo said, but I know enough of the meta story to know some of what was going on. And yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. That's why I made the comment in Discord. I was like, I'm just digging what's going on here. I like this.
Izzy had more or less made up her mind that because he hesitated, she couldn't trust him. So she was already. She was ready to kill him. But just thought she would give him that last chance.
Yeah, I wasn't sure especially once we found out that he wasn't actually evil.
Yeah, because I thought it was maybe going to draw on a little bit. If you told me it was evil, I was like, okay, we're going to do this. But once Lumo came over, I was like, nah, I'm going to step aside. I'm going to let this happen.
If the Detect Good and Evil was up when we first encountered the other two acolytes, the ones that actually became our companions, those were evil. Now they might. I mean, they might still be evil at heart. It's hard to say, but something has definitely changed.
I was thinking too. I mean, these are tortured, broken people, so it's really hard to. I mean,
you got the Stockholm syndrome going on.
You got a lot of shit going on under. I mean, you can break a person. There's a lot of ways to break a person and completely break down every single thing that they are, and so beyond like an academic argument of good and evil, it's all just, I don't know, perception or something.
All the acolytes had joined willingly. They all did have the goal of, opening portals to the Nine Hells and bringing back demons of some sort.
Well, the part of the conversation I did hear, I mean, they were going against Palor. Palor, who fucked up a whole land just because Palor willed it. Whatever his reasons, Palor killed a lot of people, and they're like, and he made some decent points. Well, we're getting the people who are going to fight him, and the Nine Hells are the only people they can get. That's who they got. Of course, I didn't hear all the conversation of that, but that's what I gathered. And like again, perception or perspective. I mean, it's not necessarily wrong.
Yeah, it's
I dug that whole thing, man. I give Lumo a star for bringing out some cool stuff.
With everything that's happened over the last few weeks, if they are given the choice and still choose to back the ones that are creating undead and all of these abominations, essentially, Izzy's merciless. She's going to be merciless.
I mean, and that makes it's such a struggle because I don't think either the compassion or the merciless. I think both are right. They're and the perceptions and the thoughts behind them are both. It's very, I don't know. It's very difficult. Because if you were in a place, and we don't really know all of that guy's story. Maybe he was trying, to do whatever he could. Maybe he's descended or something from people that are originally from the Badlands, but now lives in Rodrin, and then he was trying to, work against Palor, which Rodrin's all about some Palor. And so he may have been one of the people that got exiled to the Badlands, and so now he knows that the good is working to hurt regular people, the light, the burning hate.
But that's not quite. Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding things, because wasn't it like there's the demon gods who are fighting like good gods who are lesser gods, and Palor is just sort of overseeing them to make sure that things don't get too out of balance. Wasn't that?
Palor smoked the entire land.
Palor turned lush, nice places and killed everyone indiscriminately because there was too much power involved. The war of the gods that happened between good and bad just got too much power, and whether that was through the power itself could rival his, or the power itself could whatever. In retaliation, he killed everything: good, bad, neutral, everything in between.
So that's less of a good versus evil thing. I thought the good versus evil was more on the level of the lesser gods, and then Palor was just like, you guys are just getting too nonsense, so I'm nuking all of you. Yeah,
killing everyone for the greater good. At least that's his justification for the greater good, killing the good and the bad. But it's not hard at all to not a stretch even a little bit to think that anyone seeing Palor kill all the good instead of just all the bad or whatever. Killing everyone indiscriminately is decidedly an evil act, even though he is the highest tier of god of good that there is. And how that may cause people to lose faith and rise up against his power. Yeah, and then employing the only power they know that can rival his is the evil, because the good won't fight Palor. The only ones that will are the bad guys. And that's weird.
Well, Lord Lumo of the Light is going to change things.
Because it's just a strange thing to have to do bad for the right. Palor did bad for the greater good. So that guy was really believed that he had to do something very bad for the greater good. Because the greater god of good wasn't actually good. And so they had to bring him down. Some kind of coup, if you will. And if that meant the bad actually killing Palor, which they probably didn't actually expect that to happen. They probably expected if they bring enough bad, then Ao would make sure there's enough good that the good would bring enough power so there'd be a new god of good.
Such a tangled web.
So a lot of people have their own reasons Some are really bad reasons, bad intentions. Some actually may have some people may actually have good intentions for doing these bad things.
Yeah, I guess just for Izzy, like, all the undead need to be destroyed. Period. Full stop. Because that was just messed up in Tenaria. And
Oh, yeah.
because she knows that Coda is on side helping out the party, helping out Car in particular, she kind of sees it that we're aligned with them, I guess. Paylor
makes
doesn't
sense.
really factor into it necessarily for her, because as far as she knows, he's not part of these good gods. He's just, like, I know he's a god of good or whatever, but he's not, like, part of this fight, and they're trying to keep him from being a part of this fight.
Yeah, because the Magister, everyone, the fear is that if the balance tips too much, or if the total power scales too much, then he won't. The next time he won't just cut away a swath. He will just end it all. That's the fear from those that know enough about Paylor and Paylor's history. Very, very crazy. Paylor is one of my favorite gods. It's the I don't know. He's the epitome of good, but also the epitome of bad. It's so good that he's bad. And that conflict has always intrigued me.
That was fun. Izzy still wants to go back for the shiny things.
Well, you may have to.
I knew that was going to happen too. I couldn't say anything. I wasn't there. I would have been like, let's just do the detect magic for the key. We knew the mist was like taking all their stuff, and it's going to be the mist things. I was like, I'm over here on guard. Can't say nothing. Can't be.
Yep. I'll be honest, I was a little surprised we actually made the decision to go ahead and do this without seeing if there was some other options. We haven't even found the door that we need the key for yet. I mean, it's not going to be a hard find. But...
Yeah, I was actually wanting to feeling a little more cautious, I guess, since the two reasons: my death, and I've been watching Matt Colville videos, and he's hard on his people. He was talking about, like, if they're in a dungeon and they do a short rest, they're getting an encounter. They're getting something. You just don't do that.
But that's the other thing with the Matt Colville is, like, why I want to clear behind us is because of the patented Matt Colville screw.
So
you get too far in the dungeon and everything behind you, you have to fight your way back out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted to scout. I just wanted to know what everything was before we ran into one spot. But
I love Matt Colville, and his reasoning behind a lot of that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, don't listen to him. He's going to be a bad influence.
Please don't kill us.
Yeah, I think he kills a lot of people.
I'm not as big on the killing part, but the way he runs his game forces people to actually, I don't know, you have to think critically and gather clues and investigate. Like, all those things are, you can't just go in and just search room to room and figure things out, right? Doing so, things are so much harder that you probably will lose without some form of investigation. And I like a little mix, like, sure, I like to be able to just run. All right, we'll just go from room to room and we'll try to do some things along the way. But we also we got a bunch of good info from the acolytes, so doing that is exactly the kind of thing that I like. Sure, you don't know it. I mean, we don't really have. There was no one to interrogate, or there's not like we're in a city where we can gather information of any kind. You had no choice but to go in, and in doing so, we saw, holy shit, there's a big bad effer right off the gate, right? And then
that was a surprise.
I mean, that can happen.
A lot of surprising thing about Lumos people too. I was not expecting to hear the things I heard.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And I'm not even saying like they're necessarily bad for doing what I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know what they've. Maybe they have an even bigger bad. I don't know, but yeah, that was all very surprising.
It's not at all surprising to me.
Yeah, there's some.
We have some. We have some bad blood between my people and Baylor.
That's
Yeah.
true.
There's probably
Definitely a faction that would go that way, that route.
yeah. There's probably some good and some bad reasons, just like the acolytes, right? I mean, I would dare say that there's probably a bunch of people that feel exactly like the acolyte we just killed. And then and since all the bad people were banished to here, they've got no way out. And yeah, so they've maybe have struck a deal with some of the bad people, do some evil for the eventual greater good, or just survival. Some of that may be in there as well. Some of their advantages and their knowledge and their abilities, some of that may have been passed down from some ties with some bad people. All things we'll find out. Or die before we get to, but
Yay!
Well, it was nice we had the chance to actually talk to people, because I get the feeling like interrogating a ghoul is not going to go all that well.
Yeah, oh my god, there's actual people. Conversation.
Yeah.
Why is there nothing but undead everywhere? This is dumb. It's like, well, we've had nothing but, for a while now, we've had, other than the Phalanx and Magister, there's literally been nothing but undead and uppity wizards.
We really need a better class of friends.
Necromancer and undead is all you've seen besides the Phalanx in a while.
And a giant, who is
Oh, yeah,
also
good.
pretty cranky.
Yeah, cranky giant. I mean, look at all the shit he has to deal with all the time.
He doesn't have to deal with it anymore.
No. Man, it's a shame I didn't find his corpse. He had some cool things on him.
Which corpse?
The giant.
The giant.
Oh yeah.
He was just buried or like sandblasted away.
Yeah, that and investigation rolls were really poor, and they actually had a pretty high DC.
Well, if we go back through there, he was pretty close to this, right? We have a detect magic wand, as long as it's not 3 feet under wood or dirt.
It was. Well, it was actually pretty far from here because you had to go from there to 3 different.
That was like the first spot we went to.
Yeah, that's like right into the Badlands, and y'all spent several days travel, going from Lumo's his people's hiding spot to hiding spot to hiding spot before you got here.
Never mind.
I mean, unless we take the stones to get back, we might pass through it again. Because we would be looking for landmarks in the desert otherwise.
Yeah, it's gonna be one way out, or Banff back with use your Hearthstone.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess let me double check. We're not real close to the level up, are we? We're like 4,800 XP away.
Oh yeah, you haven't given experience.
Didn't do that yet.
We killed things today.
About 5,000 away?
Yeah, we probably killed 5,000 K worth. Maybe 5,001. I don't think Drad's buying it. Anyway, there were some good speeches today. That should be some.
Yeah, we converted people. That's even better than killing them, right?
Harder to save a life than take a life, right?
If we get them back to the garrison, we could set them up with our clerics there. Make sure they get deprogrammed.
I was figuring we might just send them off to Tenaria somewhere. I don't know. Not sure if we keep them around.
You so we got 4,300 XP split for the actual combat encounter, and then 4,000 XP split for the RP encounter.
Yay!
So still like more than 3K to go, but
Still pretty good.
Yep, 3K 56.
yep. So I mean,
Man, we killed everything in that cave. There we go.
reasonably speaking, no, I don't think the cave is going to do it. But
I
maybe,
think
maybe the cave plus something else.
I think I could eventually get like a raised dead spell. If we keep raising the same guy, we'll just keep killing him.
Cost of the raised dead spell, isn't it like 1,000 gold diamond?
I haven't looked at that.
That might not be worth.
Well, yeah. What if I raise a diamond monster spell? We just break off his finger and then.
Yeah, summon a
Could work. Could work.
Sure, it's in the books.
diamond elemental and then piece him out.
Not sure a diamond elemental would take kindly to being broken apart piece by piece. And I'm pretty sure that thing would be really hard to fight.
Well, I mean,
A diamond golem? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
We'll have to find
That
out.
would be a lot of diamonds.
That would be a lot of diamond.
No, that's fine. Not a golem, an elemental, right? You're not constructing something. Pulling diamonds from the earth to create a, thing.
So there's no charges on this rod, eh? Is that how it's supposed to be?
The rod of minor. I think, I believe you get those spells at will if you're attuned.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, this crown. What? Okay, I could cast an extra spell, but there's we're using the rule. What's the highest 2-level spells I can do back to back with that crown?
You can do. What's your spellcasting? Like,
You
what's
can
the highest
cast
level
5th
spell you
level
can cast?
spells.
Yeah, so you could cast a 5th level and a 1st level.
Yeah, so right now our rule is when you cast a spell, you can if you can cast a spell and a bonus spell, so like say Cure Wounds and Healing Word, for instance, without having to do any changing any of that, right? You can cast the maximum spell levels you can cast in a turn is whatever your highest level spell slot is. Right now, you can cast up to 5 total spell levels, no matter what. So if you cast a 5th level spell, you have to cast a cantrip if you were to if you're trying to look at casting a second spell, because cantrips are technically level 0. If you did a 3rd, you could do a 2nd to go up. Anything that any 2 spell slots that add up to 5, and no more than 5. They can be less though, so you could do 2 first levels or whatever. I mean, that's fine.
And that crown.
Putting the crown on adds 1 to that, meaning you could cast 2 3rd-level spells in a round.
That's the key thing I was looking at. This was going to be really good when I'm outside.
Yeah, no, that's why we thought it would be amazing for any of our casters. Like, I know you didn't think it was very exciting, but if you
Well,
You
my
do
Call Lightning uses a 3rd level spell slot to cast the Call Lightning, and then it's a concentration. And then after that, I can Call Lightning once per thing. So with the crown, I can do it twice, right?
Well, you'd be casting Call Lightning twice. So that's a different from activating its effect.
I don't actually cast Call Lightning each time.
No, you don't. So you concentrate it on it, continues on, and then you get to activate it on using a certain type of action. That's not the same as what the crown does.
So I won't be able to activate it twice.
No, not with the
Okay, well, I want to sell it then.
You could, do 2 Cure Wounds, or 2 Guiding Bolts, or 2,
Yeah, I'm just going to run out spell slots real quick.
or a Spare the Dying, turn Spare the Dying into a bonus action spell, unless it is already.
Essentially, in a situation, if you don't have a lot of tune items, it'd be good to have.
Oh yeah, I don't have any attuned items, so I mean, I'll keep it until I get better things, and it could be clutch in a certain situation. But
oh yeah, super clutch. Like
Could let
wham
you
wham.
double Sacred Flame.
I just thought I'd be
Flame.
able to do 2 lightnings, but how
You
Call Lightning works,
Do a
I
lot
can't.
of
So
damage in one turn.
that makes me
Oh,
sad.
You could
But
do
I'll
Call
survive.
Lightning and then Guiding Bolt in the same turn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I can, cantrips just to get an extra thing out of there. Because I
I
got,
said
yeah.
you could double Sacred Flame with that. It costs a charge to do so because you take because it's 1 plus the spell level. Cantrips are 0, so it'd take 1 charge to make a Sacred Flame a bonus action spell. So you
Plus,
could
it'd be a nice thing to have just for in clutch situations where you gotta heal if you want to like turn heals into bonus actions or something.
Yeah, half my heals are.
the healing
already bonus.
The healing words are, yeah, and they have range, but they don't heal nearly as much either. So it's mass healing. Oh, mass healing word's also a bonus action. Yeah, all the healing word stuff is, but the amount of heal that those do is a lot less. So than say a Cure Wounds of the same level.
Yeah,
it'll definitely give me options.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the most OP thing in the world for you, but it's definitely good utility.
I just had this thing in my head with my lightning where it wouldn't be costing me a lot of resources.
Oh,
I guess that's why I can't do it, because it really wouldn't be costing me any resources.
Yeah.
It only lets you cast another spell, not to activate one that's you're already concentrating on.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah, it's the same as anything really. Once you don't need it anymore or can't make any use of it, then we can just give it to the garrison. Either to.
And I'm sure I
sell
look
or-
smashing with a crown.
Oh yeah.
I mean, right? I mean, you deserve it, don't you? Anyway, you should have a crown.
I picture it as like this badass, like hard edged, like not some like gold froofy thing, but like one of those badass like with the. I need to find a picture. Hold on.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it's like, the gold with the jeweled.
Oh no, I didn't picture that at
It's
all.
like an iron crown. But man, when you're casting spells and shit, you got electricity running across it, crackling and shit. Oh yeah. Man, I really want to play Monster Hunter. Oh, what are you linking? What are you linking? Oh, I mean, that looks very literal. I kind of.
People are going to think we're the bad guys.
Yeah. Dun dun dun. I mean, you can polish it, right? I mean, it might have some shining underneath.
I
it,
was
you know?
I was definitely picturing something like that, but not as high.
Yeah, it's a little
I
too
mean-
tall and pointy.
I mean,
But-
for a car, I was pitching a tiara, but I mean,
Yes, thank you. Pretty little princess. Started singing the lumberjack song. So we all up again for next Sunday? Any scheduling conflicts?
I don't have any.
Mm-mm. No conflict.